Sometimes we need to simplify our life. Have you ever taken the day off so you could do nothing? Not to go on a trip, not so you could start writing that book you've always wanted to write, not so you could do 100 or 1,000 other things, but take the day off and do nothing. Don't go anywhere. Take time for yourself. Get lost in a book. Read a book. Maybe you want to cozy up by the fire. Maybe you want to go outside, turn the sprinklers on, and sit and watch as the sprinklers gently hit the flowers and you see the drops fall to the ground. Maybe you close your eyes and you listen. Often when we close our eyes. Welcome to Music, Motivation, and More, the Positivity Podcast. I am your host, Jerald Simon. I am the founder of Music Motivation and the creator of the Cool Song series and the Essential Piano Exercise course. And I'm excited to have you listen to the show today. Today's podcast is titled, Simplicity is the Best Policy. Now, what do I mean by that? We all, for the most part, have an abundance of stuff we've accumulated over the years. Most of us have too much stuff. How can we simplify our lives? How can we focus on simplicity for a change? For the positive perceptions portion of this podcast, I would like to read from my book, Perceptions, Parables, and Pointers. This is on page 30. This is what it says. Scale back. Simplicity is the best policy. We don't need so much stuff. Our lives become cluttered with unnecessary baggage and unwanted junk. We need to consume less and produce more. If you aren't using something, get rid of it. Donate to your local thrift store or secondhand store. Give to your community. If you'd rather, you can have a yard sale. Better yet, have a free-for-all trade with your local neighbors where they can trade their unwanted stuff for yours and vice versa. One man's junk is another man's treasure. Do without or less of it. We don't need everything we think or want. We don't need everything we think we want. Oftentimes, once we get what we thought we wanted and feel the temporary satisfaction of obtaining and owning it, we often neglect it, forget about it, take it for granted, or do not put as much attention, focus, and energy into it after we have it as we did before we had it. If this is the case, whatever it is being undervalued and unappreciated, and would be better off with someone else. Get rid of it. Simplicity is all about scaling back. You can become a minimalist if you would like to, but what it means is finding joy in simplicity. Let me illustrate this. I'm not expecting you to sell everything you own or get rid of everything you own and become a monk or a nun and then dedicate your life to serving others. That's wonderful if you would like to do that, and you will be blessed. But what I am talking about is finding joy in simplicity. I believe we get so caught up in the hustle and bustle of life that we don't take time to stop, to think, to sit down, to relax, to enjoy doing absolutely nothing. Unfortunately, most of us are caught up in this rat race where we are going 100 miles an hour, 24/7. We are trying to keep up with the Joneses. We are trying to outdo everyone around us, to outdo ourselves, what we did the day before. And I know in every podcast, I continually say that we will be better today than we were yesterday. But that does not mean trying to create an impossible roadmap, filling your day with thousands and tens of thousands of activities, even though they may be good. More is not necessarily better. Sometimes we need to scale back. Sometimes we need to simplify our life. Have you ever taken the day off so you could do nothing? Not to go on a trip, not so you could start writing that book you've always wanted to write, not so you could do 100 or 1,000 other things, but take the day off and do nothing. Don't go anywhere. Take time for yourself. Get lost in a book. Read a book. Maybe you want to cozy up by the fire. Maybe you want to go outside, turn the sprinklers on, and sit and watch as the sprinklers gently hit the flowers, and you see the drops fall to the ground. Maybe you close your eyes and you listen. Often when we close our eyes, our sense of hearing is heightened, and all of a sudden we begin to hear things we've never heard before. It's wonderful to sit down, close your eyes, and just listen. You can listen to the silence. You can listen and hear the birds chirping. You can hear the breeze blowing through the leaves. You can hear children, either your own children or neighborhood children, as they are outside playing. Sometimes the best thing we can do is stop doing everything and relax. Take time out of our busy schedules to do nothing. Maybe we need to sit down and watch a show that we've been wanting to watch. We can meditate. We can relax. We can pray. We can take time to be still. Too often, we run, and we run ourselves ragged. We work and play, which is important to do. But we have this constant up and down of work and play, and we are trying to learn, and we are trying to go to school, and we are trying to work for our employer, or we're trying to start a new company, or we're trying to read a book or write a book. You see, there are so many things we can be doing and should be doing, and it's wonderful to do those things. It's great to have goals, but if you don't include time to do nothing, if you don't include time to relax, to sit, to kick up your feet, to breathe, then your day will be filled with so many activities that take you nowhere. One of the best things we can do is to invest time in our well-being, time in our peace of mind. If we stop working, often we start living. For the Motivation in a Minute portion of this podcast, I would like to read a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. This is on page 176 from my book, Perceptions, Parables, and Pointers. This is what it says. All that Adam had, all that Caesar could, you have and can do. Build, therefore, your own world. Now, we can accomplish anything we set out to accomplish. We can be like Caesar of old. We can accomplish anything we set out to accomplish. And that is the beauty of living a rich and full life. But if we don't take time to stop and smell the flowers, if we don't take time to just be in the moment, to rest, to sit down, to stop, so much of life will pass us by. Here are some things you can try to do today to stop and start living life. As I mentioned earlier, stop and smell the flowers. Go outside, go for a walk around the block, or just start walking. You don't have anywhere to go. This is not walking with purpose or trying to win a speed walking competition. This is not about running or trying to prepare for a marathon. This is about going for a walk, not a brisk walk, a slow, meandering walk where you stop along the way. Stop and look at flowers. Crouch down and smell the flowers. As you walk, take moments every now and then to stop and look at the sprinklers. You could even run through the sprinklers if you want and get wet, but notice how the water droplets hit the flowers, how they fall on the grass. Look what happens as you go on your walk. Do you see people outside? Stop and say hi. Talk to them. Introduce yourself if you don't know them. Just say hi and smile. Tell them to have a wonderful day. Notice things about people. That's another thing you can do. Go to a park or go to a mall. Go to a public place and sit on the bench and watch people. Look at them as they go from place to place. What do you notice? What do you see? You don't need to try and find out what problems they are facing or what is happening in their lives, but just watching people can teach you so much about humanity and about yourself. Maybe you'd like to listen to music. If you turn on music, close your eyes, shut out the world, and just listen to the music. Try to listen to instrumental music today. Instead of focusing on the words, you are focusing on the melodies and the harmonies, the instrumentation. What do you hear? Go on your back porch, pull up a chair, or sit down on a couch, some lawn furniture, and try to write down poetry or thoughts. Take off your shoes and walk barefoot through the grass. How does the grass feel? Walk barefoot on the beach. How does the sand feel between your toes? You can look at birds. You can listen to birds. You can see animals. These things are beneficial because they actually calm us. They relax us. They help us really gain a greater perspective of what truly is most important in life. I would like to take what Ralph Waldo Emerson said, all that Adam had, all that Caesar could, you have and can do. Build, therefore, your own world. And I would reverse it and say, you will lose your own world if you only try to focus on what Caesar could and what Adam had. If you only focus on what others have done or what you are trying to do or accomplish, you will lose the world you hope to create. Take time for yourself. Scale back. Simplicity is the best policy. For the Music Within portion of this podcast, I would like to have us listen to Smooth Sailing. This is from my album, Sweet Serenity. Listen to the music. It's a piano solo, but listen to what happens as the music continues. For the Poetry That Motivates portion of this podcast, I would like to read a poem I wrote titled, I Am a Simple Sort of Man. This is from my book, The As If Principle Motivational Poetry. I am a simple sort of man. I do not speak as most men do. My speech may not be the best. I do not write as most men would. I could not pass a grammar test. I have not acquired as many skills as most. I do not have much about which to brag or boast. I am a simple sort of man. I do the best I know I can. I haven't traveled very far. I do not own an expensive car. My taste is rather bland at best, and yet I'll prepare for every test. I am a simple sort of man. I do the best I know I can. I know I do not know as much as scholars and doctors and lawyers and such, but I try to learn something new each day. Something that will help me along my way. I do my best with what I can, even though I am a simple man. I know I am a simple man, but I do the best I know I can. Simplicity. It's about simplifying life. I'm not saying we have to be simple men and simple women. We are all very complicated and complex, even those who feel they are simple. But the more we do to simplify our lives, if we can do with less, do without, our lives will be so much easier because simplicity truly is the best policy. Notice the little things in life. Become a tourist in your town. It's a fun thing to do. You drive to an area of your town, one you may not be as familiar with, whether it be residential or commercial, and just get out. Walk around the block. Walk 2 blocks. Walk 3 blocks. See what you can see. Listen and hear what you can hear. You'll notice things you've never seen before. It's important to take time each and every day to focus on how we can help heal ourselves. There is so much we can do, but we don't need to do a lot. It's the little things in life that are important. Take time to simplify your life today, and you will see how wonderful your life can be. It's wonderful to focus on simplicity. Take time out of your busy schedule today to notice all the good around you, and you'll see how happy you can be. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Smile all the while. Be happy. Continue to do your best and strive to be better. But know that you don't need to do everything. You don't need to know everything. No one does. Scale back. Simplify your life. And you'll see that your life will improve as it never has before. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I hope you have a wonderful day. Make your dreams come true starting today. So smile all the while. Be happy. Be positive. Do your best today and continually strive to be better each and every day. That we may be better today than we were yesterday, and that tomorrow we will be better than we were today. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. Thanks for listening. Bye. Subscribe to Music, Motivation, and More, the Positivity Podcast, to receive updates of each new weekly podcast produced and released by Jerald Simon. A new podcast is recorded and released on Mondays. Listen on any podcast platform of your preference. But I'd love to have you listen to my music as well. You can listen to my music and find my artist name, Jerald Simon, Jerald Simon. You can listen on Spotify, on Pandora, Apple Music, Amazon, all the different streaming platforms. I would love to have you check out my YouTube channel. It is youtube.com/Jerald Simon. JeraldSimon. Simon. I have Motivation in a Minute and Poetry That Motivates videos that I have produced, in addition to my own music videos and music educational instructional tutorials that I've created to help teach music the fun way. I'd love to have you check it out. I'd love to connect with you on social media. You can connect with me on any social media platform. You can go to facebook.com/Jerald Simon. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, all the different social pages at Jerald Simon. JeraldSimon. But I'd love to have you check out my music. Let me know what you think. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys have a great day.